For this project, you're going to need 2 colors of burlap. You're going to need a wire wreath form. You're going to need some floral wire, wire cutters, and then go ahead and for this project, you're going to need 2 colors of burlap, some floral wire, a wire wreath form, and wire cutters. The first thing that I did is went ahead and cut my floral wire into a bunch of 10-inch lengths, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to do with these next. Go ahead and take your wire. I have a length of wire here, and you're going to go ahead and pass it under one of the wires in your wreath form until both of your sides of the wire are equal length, and give it a good twist right at the wire form to hold it secure. You're going to continue doing this, making 2 or 3 of these wire attachments on each of the you can kind of see here I have one wire already attached to the second rung here. I'm going to attach one wire to each of the 4 spokes of this within each section, and then I will show you what to do next. Alright, I've gone ahead and I've added all of my wires the whole way around, and they do slide back and forth on the rungs. That's okay, because that'll help us make our loops bigger and smaller as we go. The next step is to start with one of your 2 colors of burlap. I'm going to start with the brown. I got my burlap ribbon at Walmart, and it was only $3 a spool, so this was really affordable. Alright, I'm going to unroll a bit of my burlap, and I'm going to kind of bunch the end together, and then just pick one of my wires to start with, and I'm going to give it a really, really tight twist. A couple times around, and have my end there. You can see I have the end twisted on, and now I just have this big spool of burlap. Now I'm going to work my way around the wreath, kind of fluffing it up and then bunching it together. And this is really just something that you do by sight. And if I started on the second rung in on this first one, I'm going to make sure that my next loop is on a different rung so that these bubbles kind of work their way around and aren't real linear. This next one I'm going to put on the second rung here. Make a nice little bubble. Bunch it together again, and then take the 2 wires and twist tight. And you can see I have this first little bubble here. I'm going to keep working my way around the wreath, doing that same thing. And then once I get the whole way around, I will show you what we do next. Alright, I've worked my way the whole way around one time, and as you can see it still looks a little bit sparse. That's why we're going to just keep going. I'm going to keep working my way around a second time with the brown, and then we will go ahead and add in a layer of orange as well. Alright, I've now gone around twice with brown, and I did come to the end of a second roll, so I have a little tail here. I'll show you what to do with that later. But I'm going to go around a third time just to make it really full before we add our orange. I am going to need a second roll, but I wanted to show you what happens when you run out of one and need to start another. You just do exactly what you did the first time. Use one roll until it completely runs out, and then start another one by bunching the end and kind of tucking it under one of these. You may have to look under by the time you reach this point because it gets so full to find the wires that haven't been used. So I'm going to take this and just start that end like I did the original one by bunching it together and twisting it really tight with one of my wires. Alright, and then I just continue my way around until I complete a third rotation, and then I will show you what we do next. Alright, I've gone around 3 times now, and if you want to leave it monochromatic, you could leave it like this, but I want to add a pop of color, so I'm going to add a layer of orange. So I'm just going to start again. I put 4 wires in each section to begin with, and I've used 3 of those 4 with passing 3 times. So now it's going to take me a minute to find each wire that I haven't used, but go ahead and the wire that you haven't used yet, use to make a 4th loop in orange the whole way around. Sometimes it's easier to lift up the bottom of this and find the wire that you haven't used than it is to look from the top. Don't worry about any loose ends that you have right now because I'm going to show you what to do with those next. Alright, I'm coming to my last loop. I need to do one more in here. Give it a nice twist. Alright, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut off my tail. I'm going to leave a little bit of a tail here so that I can tuck it underneath in my next step. I used about a roll and a half of the brown, and I only used about a half a roll of the orange. So think about that when you're going ahead and doing this. You're going to need more of the base color than you are of the accent color. Alright, the whole thing is really full now, but looking kind of messy. So what we need to do is go around and take all of our tails, and we're going to go ahead and push them through the rungs to the back of the wreath. And then we'll secure them with wire. You're going to do the same thing. Pull all of your tails through to the back of the wreath like that. And pull all of your excess wire, your little ends that are sticking up, pull all of them to the back of the wreath, and then we will tie them off to the wire wreath form and get rid of all of them. Clip the ends. So one at a time, just make sure that you have all of your wires through to the back. And this one here will help me secure the end of this tail. So go ahead and just use that wire that you pulled to the back to secure the tail. And then once I do that, I can go ahead and I can snip that wire off. And continue your whole way around until all of your excess wires have been snipped. If one is sliding around on you and you want to secure it more, you can always loop it under one of the other rungs and then tie it off in the back too, and that will help. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and push all of my wires to the back, give them another twist, and then snip them off, and then I'll show you what we'll do next. Alright, I've gone the whole way around my wreath, and I have fluffed up all my little loops. I also went ahead and made a pretty little orange burlap bow. There's another tutorial on our YouTube channel that shows you how to do this. And I'm just going to attach my bow using some wire to the bottom of my wreath. Clip off my ends, turn it over, and now I'm ready to hang my beautiful October wreath.